Well, hey, kids, dreamers, and jammers, welcome back to Park Streamers Hangout. And we've got a fantastic show lined up for you, as usual. Before we get to that, though, let me introduce my co-host. We have Cordy in California and Berry Place 28. And why don't we go ahead and let the folks at home know where they can find you, Cordy in California?
Hello, everyone. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch, all Cordy in California.
Awesome. And now over to Berry Place 28. Would you let everybody know where they can find you?
Sure. You can find me at Berry Place 28 at YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. So come and join me over there.
Awesome. And you can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. And now that those formalities are out of the way, let's go ahead and say hello to some of you guys in the chat, and then we will give you the info on our show coming up right here. But welcome in, everyone. Cordy, who do we have in the chat tonight?
Well, I thought we'd start with, we had some gifted memberships that
oh, yes.
put out there at the beginning. So we had 10 gifted memberships from the Park Streamers Hangout. So I think
we're so generous.
And we also had a couple of new members join. Rachel Castro, thank you so much for becoming a member. Tamara Delaney, thank you. And our very own Theme Park Casual.
Yay, finally got it on the right account. But our gifted memberships went to Karen Owen, Holly C., Judy Booty Tiptoe Patootie, Crystal Ray Today, Kaylee, EJ, Amorin, Paul Angle, and Cuscotopia. So congrats. Oh, and Mike Beachman was also gifted a membership.
And I think, is it Amorin?
Yes.
Oh, wow. What is happening? I just saw I was gifting a membership. Thanks.
I saw that. That was great. I love seeing that. So we're so excited. You guys were excited to see that.
Yeah, and like I said, we've got another fantastic show. We've been enjoying having special guests with us, and tonight is no different. We have another special guest. We have Evan, who goes by Phineas Huckleberry on Instagram. We'll get to the reasoning why that name has become almost a preferred name for Evan that he goes by. But he's going to be talking to us about some of his artwork. He is a multimedia artist that has been featured several times now for the Knott Berry Farm festivals. As you guys know, they do the art show in the back corner in the factory store. And his art has been shown, I think it's 5 times now. So we're going to get to talk to him. He's also working on some labor of love projects for Knott's Berry Tales, and we'll let him show you some of his handiwork there as well. And then we're going to be talking some Star Wars Night and possibly some breaking news from Star Wars Celebration in Japan. So without further ado, let's go ahead and intro our guest. Bob, would you do the honors?
Absolutely. So our guest tonight is Evan Alporque, who also goes by Phineas Huckleberry. So he's known artistically as Phineas Huckleberry and is a visionary mixed media artist based in Southern California whose work blends whimsical storytelling with creative innovation. And after earning a degree in fashion design from the LA Trade Tech in 2015, his artistic identity truly took shape through his involvement in Ghost Town Alive at Knott's Berry Farm, where he embraced the alter ego of Phineas Huckleberry. This persona reignited his passion for art, allowing him to channel resilience and imagination into a distinctive, fantastical style that has defined his work since 2020. Mentored by the legendary artist Rolly Crump, Phineas has transformed personal inspiration into compelling visual narratives, and his first public exposition at Knott's Berry Farm in 2023 marked a milestone featuring the sales of On the Road to Catnip Junction. Featuring the cell On the Road to Catnip Junction. Hey, that's a tongue twister right there, to Alvaro Rodriguez, who's been on our show, and leading to his dream role with Fantasy Fun Wheel. Now he's a 5-time featured artist at Knott's, and Phineas continues to draw from the theme park lore, history, and storytelling magic. In his latest piece, Dr. Fox Cures All celebrates the rich tradition. I can't even read tonight. Let me try that again. His latest piece, Dr. Fox Cures All, celebrates the rich tradition of theme park creativity and solidifies his enchanting place in the art world. Woo! There we go. So that is awesome. We are excited to have him on board. And so I would like to bring him to the stage. Well, please welcome Evan Phineas Huckleberry. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. So, wow, that's quite a story you got there. We'll get into some more stuff, but mentored by Rolly Crump, that is amazing. I can't imagine what it's like to sit and be able to just talk with him about art.
I never actually physically met him. We started exchanging correspondence over email during the pandemic lockdown. I had a really bad mental break starting New Year's Day of 2020, which kind of gave you a hint of how the rest of the year was going to go. And so when the lockdown happened, I turned to my art. And when I started posting it on Facebook and people were giving me all this feedback, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start thanking people. Life's too short. So I reached out to his webpage. I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, hi. It's like, I wanted to say thank you for all the years of inspiration. This is what I've been able to do with it. And I left it as that. I didn't think anything was going to happen. I was going to get a response. Then my birthday, 2021, I get a response. Sorry, I always get emotional for a bit. And he said, thank you for reaching out and showing me what you've been able to do. Your art is a joy to look at. And from there, we just started exchanging back and forth a bunch of times. And every time I felt like I was doubting myself, I would just send a message off to him, and I would get the most comforting and supportive words back. And I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for that. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It might be hard for some people to understand how these artists who created these things that are out in the public, and a lot of times theme parks aren't necessarily viewed as art forms. They're viewed as a consumer product most of the time. So the emotional attachment, doesn't happen for everybody the same way. But I completely get it. Getting to meet, or talk to some of your heroes. I've had interactions with people on X and whatever, and you're just like, oh my gosh, so and so responded to my comment. So to be able to have a back and forth with someone, especially like I said, of the stature of someone like Rolly Crump. That's pretty amazing, and it's wonderful to hear that he was a very supportive and caring person. So
Yeah.
Love to hear the stories like that. You always want your heroes to stay heroes.
Yeah, from doing that, it's like I reached out to other people too that inspired me, and it was the same for all of them. They all gave me such support and such just appreciation of what I've been able to accomplish, and it was amazing. I one of them was actually Justin Scar from Random Land. And I met him at Midsummer Scream. I got a gifted a ticket, divine intervention from the other side from one of my old co-workers at Disney when I was a Jungle Cruise skipper, Jeffrey Isaacson. He had passed away tragically, and through that and through grieving with his other friends, I ended up with a ticket to Midsummer Scream and met up with Justin. I actually gifted him a couple of my early frames, and that plus Raleigh support got me into Knott's. It
Very
was
cool.
amazing.
That's awesome. Well, we have some questions, and we'll get some of your background through that. So I'll start with this one. You began your artistic journey in fashion design. How has that background influenced your work as a mixed media artist today?
I would say for the most part, it helped me with the human form and proportions. I mean, I initially went into fashion design because I'm 6'3", and I have a couple weird measurements, so I'm always having to customize my clothes. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life, I might as well learn how to do it right.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's like one of the first things that they make you take in fashion design was your portfolio making. So you would they taught you the basic of life drawing, figures, and just like different effects. So it was my first real formal training in art. Everything else has all been self-taught.
Okay.
It's amazing what you can learn on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. Bob, you want to take the next one?
Oh, should we let Cordy? Ladies first.
Oh, okay. Ladies first, by all means.
Well, this one I'm very curious about because, we've been saying about your name, Phineas Huckleberry. So that emerged from your time with Ghost Town Alive. Can you tell us about the moment you realized that this alter ego was more than just a character, but more of a vessel for your creativity?
Well, Phineas, in all intents and purposes, is actually me. What I did was I combined every single old time photo that I've ever taken my entire life, and even my parents. I took the ones my parents had taken when they were dating, and I completely rewrote my entire history based on those and transposed with the year difference. So I technically was Phineas Huckleberry was born in 1851, and yeah, it was just through that it seemed like I was more confident and able to get through a lot of situations better and easier as Phineas than as Evan. So it like my interaction with Ghost Town Life, it was a major part of my therapy for the originally for getting over the passing of my friend Jeff, and he was a trained bandit at Knott's for many years after he left Disney, and just being able to grieve with a lot of the other actors at Knott's was it helped me get past it. I still struggle with a few things of it, but yeah, I'm doing a lot better than I was.
That's cool. Bob, did you want to take?
Absolutely. So, Phineas, your work beautifully blends whimsy with deeper themes like perseverance. So, how do you approach balancing that fantasy and emotional depth in all the pieces that you work on?
I'm going to admit it is hard a lot of times, but when I see it as every art piece I ever do, I put a lot of myself into it. So it's the more connected I am with the piece, the better it is. So if it's like if I've got a strong emotional connection about whatever I'm using to fuel, the whole project, it will bring out the most amazing things that even surprise me. When I'm done with my pieces, I look at it, I'm like, wow, I never thought I could ever do anything like this. It's just like, I think, oh, this is probably my magnum opus, and then the next project ends up being better. But it's like, especially for this year's piece for the Boysenberry Festival, it really was a lot of emotion into it because of the connection with Raleigh. And it's just like everything I've done since he started mentoring me has been just to make sure that I honor that. And it's just like, when that's on my mind, it's like failing is not an option, because it's just like, I know I have to make Raleigh proud.
And this is the piece that you have on display this year, correct?
Yes, that is Dr. Fox Cures All. And the smaller frame and the lower left, that is the actual piece Raleigh got to see. I did that one in early 2022. And he really appreciated how much I interpreted his original design. As Dr. Fox, he didn't get a concept sketch with the outfit that was shown in the ride. It was the early concept of him as a little in front of a regular gypsy wagon and had a big gypsy like shirt on. So I took that style with some of Crafty Coyote. There was this running like myth that Crafty Coyote was actually Dr. Fox, and he disguised himself so that way he can sneak in and get closer to the pies. But in reality, Fantasy Fair, when they were making the ride, since they were just coming up with all these new things right on the fly, a lot of the animals use the same molds. So like you have Sarah Skunk, Wanda Fox, they're the same mold for the head. So Crafty Coyote and Dr. Fox had the same head mold. And even like the like beavers in the ride have the same mold that was used for Madame Wong, the panda. So it's just like there was just like this always this theme that people thought, oh, it's like that's really that's really Crafty Coyote. So I wanted to use the same look and just kind of tweaked it a little bit. You know, just gave him shorter ears and just the fang on there. And yeah, just Raleigh just really loved that. It's like I was able to come up with this slightly unique interpretation of it. And so I wanted to do that as my main piece this year, because it was the last piece he commented on. Well, that he personally commented on, because then after that he started having heavier health problems, and that it was more going through his wife, Mary Tochi, and she was just as amazing as Raleigh, just so supportive, and I don't think I could ever thank them enough. It's like I always called them my guardian angels, and yeah, it's just like it's rare that you come across people like that in today's world.
Yeah, and like we touched on a little bit, and you're talking about it here. The mentorship with Raleigh Crump is an incredible opportunity. What are some of the most valuable lessons or insights that you gained from working with him?
He always told me, never be afraid to be yourself. Never be afraid to fail. It's like it just leaves it as an opportunity, to try something new. And that's what I've always tried to do with my art. Is I always try to use new techniques, I'm constantly looking at other artists and seeing what they're doing, and like finding inspiration. As I personally, I don't really care if I ever get like world famous, as long as I do something that inspires someone else and they can pass that energy on. That's all that matters to me. I just like I will die happy knowing somebody was inspired by me, just as much as I was inspired by Raleigh.
Love that.
Whew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, deep breath.
I know.
Believe me, this is tame. I have ugly cried like you wouldn't believe.
Well, we appreciate you really, just kind of sharing it all with us and being so open. It's thank you for that.
Oh, very welcome. I see that talking about things is one of the best therapies. So you release a lot of cathartic energy, and one of these days I'll get to the point where I can speak about Raleigh and not break down. No promises, but one of these days.
Well, we wanted to talk about too, like your first public exhibition at Knott Berry Farm back in 2023. So that marked a huge milestone. So what did On the Road to Catnip Junction represent for you personally and artistically?
Well, for me, it was a real awakening to the more hidden stuff at Knott's. I originally was going to submit one of the very first frames I showed Raleigh, which was my Sarah skunk, which I actually have. Ooh. So this was the very first piece I actually showed Raleigh, and I wanted to submit this one for the show. It's a miniature crystal ball from the Knott's Geode shop, and it sits on top of a little tea light. So when it's got a new battery in it, it'll actually light up the crystal ball. And
hold it up there. Hold it up there for a second, Bob. Are you able to make Evan?
Let me see. Yeah, let me just bring him in. There we go.
Now we can see the art. That is
wow.
nice touch.
Awesome.
Putting the little crystal from the Geode shop. Nice touch.
Yeah,
really cool. I love
together.
how you got the scarves are coming down. That's really cool too.
Yeah, I try to blend pieces from over 20 different Raleigh sketches. So it's like all of these banners are from stuff from the Haunted Mansion. Just all these little details. I was always very enthralled by the fact that the Disney Imagineers, they would put together all their stuff just from whatever they had lying around in their workspace. So it's all these little pieces on the spire. These are just wooden beads with this is a kebab stick, and these parts are sewing pins, and then little bits from jewelry. I have boxes and boxes of just found items that I try to incorporate into my pieces to just add a little bit of creative problem solving into each of my pieces. So that way it keeps me thinking, keeps things fresh.
Right. Yeah. That's I love seeing that. I've never been able to be that type of artist, but I've never, like the way you were saying, you got to kind of work at it, and it's learning to be able to see things in a different way and say, oh, I could use this to solve this problem over here, kind of thing. So I get a kick out of watching, an artist like that, how they piece things together, and it's really cool to hear how you go about it, and it's saying, oh, well, I was looking at stuff from the Haunted Mansion and I was picking up little bits of stuff here, and I could use it for this. I love hearing that.
Yeah, it's I have a form of OCD where my brain will just keep on thinking nonstop. So it's hard to keep a mental image in my head long enough for me to sketch it out. So I have to go off a lot of visual references. Um, so that being said, like with On the Road to Catnip Junction, I was lucky enough to have gotten in touch with Eric Linksweiler by this point, and he met up with me and brought over some of the actual blueprints from the Wacky Soapbox Racers. So all the facades that are on here are actually done in scale from the blueprints. And
Wow.
that, I mean, just that excitement alone, just that fueled the piece. It's like it originally was just going to be a frame with the 2 billboards in it, and then he was like, no, you really should, like, put a little bit more into it, give it a little more style. It's like, like what you showed Raleigh. I was like, okay. And next thing I know, I mean, I actually made this in 2.5 weeks.
How,
I mean,
how does that compare to
awesome.
other pieces? What's typical for your pieces?
For the Gypsy Wagons, see, this year, Dr. Fox took me just under a month. But last year's piece, Wanda, see Wanda's Magic Teacups, that one took, that took about 2.5 months, because I ended up getting a Cricut cutting machine. So all the pieces that I used to build out my frames, I digitized the patterns, and then I cut everything out so it's the cleanest lines that they can be. And also, if I need to do duplicates or whatever, or make any adjustments, it's easy just to do a little switch up on the file and cut out a new piece.
Mhm.
And so I used a lot of the same pieces from same file pieces from last year for this year's piece. So it cut it down about a month. Oh, Robin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cats.
I have so many like artifacts and stuff in here. It's like I need to like tack everything down. I have the earthquake wax on everything, so that way they don't get knocked over.
Hey, real quick, since the cat already brought the attention to the frog there, can you show us the frog? And for
Sure.
everyone else, this is one of the actual pieces from the Knott's Berry Tale ride, and that Evan actually refurbished. And this thing is amazing. I got to see it in person when I went to the signing that they had back on, what was it, April 3rd, I think it was.
Yes.
And it was amazing to see this in person. And I'm gonna blow up your picture there so we can see it. But
There we go.
I mean, the frog was in quite disarray, and you did an amazing job touching this up and refurbishing it. Can you tell us a little bit about the frog and how you refurbished it, real quick?
This is Ribbert, which I named him. He's one of the articulated but non mouth opening frogs from the ride. I've narrowed it down to a couple spots that he may be from. There was a couple jumping frogs behind the serenading boat in the frog forest, so it might be one of those, based on the mouth curvature of his lips and the body shape. So it could be from there, or it could be one from the country fair section. But I actually was gifted him by Albert as a Christmas gift, and he had this weird sleeve on his arm made from thermoplastic, and I knew that wasn't original, so I wanted to make sure that was the first thing that I inspected. He had a lot of loose paint, a lot of loss of the original paint, so I needed to stabilize all that. I actually have I work on the Fantasy Fun Wheel website. I designed it and I maintain it. I have the starting of the refurbishment list on there, where I go in depth to all the different steps. But I first stabilized everything on on the frog, and then started removing what wasn't original. So there was the sleeve piece, and there was a couple globs of putty or something on to the legs, and a bunch on the foot, on the little flipper sections. So I had to remove all that, and I actually saved them just for posterity. And they're in a little baggie inside one of my other jars. And everything I did, I tried to do it with respect to the piece. I didn't want to do anything that was too drastic. So I all of the original paint and everything I actually have sealed underneath this coat of paint. So if anyone ever wants to see how it was down to the original paint, it could easily be with a solution be removed and go back to the original like condition. But it's got multiple layers of sealant on it. It's UV paint, and it's all just like store-bought stuff. I tried to go with, what I think Raleigh might have done, or Fantasy Fair. Just they were dealing with a new medium for them, so it's like I knew that it had to be something that was going to be more readily available. So I went with stuff that I knew was resilient and was going to give the look and feel that I saw from photos.
That is amazing. How did you learn the restoration techniques? And like, okay, let's say, how did you learn that, hey, you can code it and it can be saved so that you can see the original paint and everything?
YouTube, actually. I watch a lot of Baumgartner restoration videos. He's a artwork restorer in, I believe, Detroit or somewhere around there, and he goes in depth on what different techniques to be used with different types of paint on different types of surfaces, what what kind of solvents can be used to remove old grime, and just all these different things. And like, I've watched so many of those videos. It's like I knew exactly what to do. It was just like I had already done it before. And
wow.
It was very interesting. Like when I research enough on a subject and get a lot of the information, it's stored so well in my head that it can come out like I have done it a thousand times. And yeah, it does annoy a lot of people where it's like, oh, I thought you said you never did this before. I'm like, I haven't.
So one of the things you just mentioned when you were talking about refurbishing Ribbit was that, about joining Fantasy Funwheel. So that must have been a dream come true for you. So what was that process like? How did you get involved? And how do you feel it contributes to theme park storytelling as an artist on that website?
Well, it actually it's really a full circle story for me. My pieces I did originally that Raleigh saw, I never would have been able to do them without the help of Albert Rodriguez and Fantasy Funwheel. One of my things with OCD is I ask a lot of questions and I keep going and digging until I find the answers. So if there's a specific detail that I want specifically for whatever project I'm working on, I will go to any depths to find it out. And luckily, I had been following Albert for a few years, and was always envious about him having all of these Fairy Tales pieces. I was like, oh, that would be amazing to have one day. And it's like I would pick his brain all the time. And just like, oh, it's like, do you by chance have a photo of this fabric, or do you have a close-up of this figure? And literally within 10 minutes, he would have my inbox just flooded with all of these photos, and it just would give me so much inspiration. It would give me all these details of colors and designs that I was like, okay, that now this is going in a completely different direction. Some of my pieces started out very, very, very basic, and then they ended up becoming super elaborate, super detailed, all because Albert had those resources and it fed my OCD. And especially with that, if I can be excited about something, that will draw out a lot of just fine details and just craftsmanship that I never thought I had before.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's like, have Albert buying my first piece, that was just to know who bought my piece. That's a great feeling, and knowing that it's in a good home. I mean, that's even bigger.
Yeah.
And when he called me up, I was like, hey, I really like your work and I really like your style, and we both know Raleigh, so it's like, would you like to come on to work with me? And I was like, yeah. It's like, I mean, I may not have ever done it before, but yeah, of course. And I mean, I had to teach myself a lot of things again. I mean, I was working with a laptop that was so slow. It would take an hour for it to like start up. So, I mean, a lot of my first pieces that working with him, just it took a while to get done, but they ended up being really good. And when he asked me if I wanted to do the website for the book, I was like, yeah, I took HTML coding in high school, so it's like it can't be much harder. So, I mean, it's a little confusing sometimes with how they have things set up. The platform we go through, they don't make finding details and setting things up that easy. It's like you have to have multiple devices to make sure that one site is running smoothly.
Yep.
Luckily, I have all these devices.
Awesome. Your latest piece, Dr. Fox Cures All, is a tribute to theme park storytelling. Can you walk us through the inspiration and creation of that particular piece?
For that, I wanted to blend, what people already knew of me. So I took a lot of the base from my Wanda piece last year, and then I wanted to give other details that people were like familiar with, little things that anybody in the park today could be like, oh, okay, I know where that's from. So I used the labels from the window of the factory store for the weird juice jars, and those were designed by Eric Leensweiler. And so I wanted to put those on there so that way it tied everything together and gave people a sense of the story, because a lot of people wouldn't recognize Dr. Fox as I have him in my piece, since he's got the costume that he wore in the original ride. The costume that the new Dr. Fox has for the Return to the Fair is very different, and even his body style is very different. It's based more off of the original Raleigh concept sketch than anything that was in the ride. So I wanted to mix together the sense of familiarity so people would understand, and I wanted to try and put as much little details here and there. And one of the big things that Raleigh always liked doing in his pieces was these tiny little sight gags hidden, nooks and crannies of his piece. So when you see my piece in person, on the back of the wagon, there's a bottle that's actually pouring some weird juice into a glass. So it's just floating in midair, and it just like I wanted to put that little hidden little sight gag. Just people like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's just like to pay homage to how he would do things. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of it's very cerebral. I'll put it that way. It's just like it's hard to put to words sometimes with my full inspiration on things, but it's like it's a big mixture and cacophony of just ideas.
Nice.
Like I said, I'm very long-winded.
Yeah, I love it. So now you are a 5-time featured artist at Knott's. How has that ongoing relationship shaped your growth and visibility as an artist?
I still struggle with my identity as an artist, even now. I grew up in a household where art was looked down on, so I always was picked on for trying to do a lot of hands-on crafting and designing. So not getting into my art really until I was 40. It just it's very hard to break that mentality. So I have a heavy imposter syndrome. So until someone actually tells me that, oh yeah, I bought your piece because I loved it. It's just like I always have this feeling that it's not going to get sold, or people aren't going to understand it. And that was my biggest fears for this show, since my piece is so heavily attached to honoring the promise that I had made to Raleigh before he died. I knew I would be devastated if for some reason it didn't sell or people didn't like it. And to find out that somebody saw my piece online, took the day off from work to go and get my piece, and it being sold within the first 10 minutes. Whew. It still gets me. It's just like someone thought my piece was that good to get it as quick as possible. Just
I think you could put the imposter syndrome to bed now. That alone should let you know you're not an imposter.
it's so hard just to really thinking I'm there. Even a lot of my digital art pieces I do, I never know when to actually call them complete. I'm constantly going back, revisiting things, and putting in the new techniques that I've learned. Mm-hmm. So even some of my older pieces that I have on my Instagram, I'll go back and I'll touch them up, and then I'll re-release them out with the new details, because it just like my art, I am always adapting, always changing, always learning. I have an unfinished piece that one of these days I will finish. It's an actual character frame of Madame Wong from Fairy Tales, and I actually have Giggles the dragon that sits on the top. And for that piece, just for a tiny little detail, I taught myself how to do wire bonsai tree making. Just for it, I watched at least 100 videos on YouTube how to do it, just for this tiny little detail. But that's what I like doing. I like learning new techniques, new styles, because you never know how that process, how you could use it somewhere else down the line. And that's how I look at life. Whatever I do, whatever I go through, something from that experience will become useful later on down the road. And well, if you saw my art space behind me, you probably think I was a hoarder, but it's like I'll get vibes on things, like certain little pieces. It's like I don't know what I can use it for now, but I know this will come in handy sometime down the road. And that's what, like, I created a Madame Leota with that kind of concept. I worked doing the windows for American Eagle Outfitters back with my first job. I was trained by corporate, so it's like they got me to where they entrusted me with the window displays, and we had these gigantic plastic globes, and I always thought they were cool, to, like, hanging in the window. And finally, when they said we could throw them away, I was like, okay, those are coming home with me. I don't know what I'm using for, but I'm gonna bring them. And I mean, just over 20 years ago, I created a Madame Leota with a styrofoam wig head inside, and I keep on updating her every couple of years. And the most amazing, like, thing happened through Fantasy Fun Wheel. Went to an event with Garner Holt, and I was dressed up as a Zeke from the Haunted Mansion video game, and I had my Madame Leota. And all of a sudden, I just hear this woman like, "Oh, do you mind if I get a photo with you?" I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I was like, take a photo and everything. And she's like, "My mother would be so happy for this homage you gave to her." And then I see her name tag, and it's like, oh, it's Kim Irvine. Oh, the daughter of Madame Leota just took a photo with me. I was like, whoa! I mean, she actually even sent me the photo too. It just like, I was just like, wow, this is real.
That's awesome.
That's
cool. Incredible. Yeah, that's really good story.
I mean, everything since Raleigh started mentoring me, every dream I had when I was 9 years old, wanting to have be a part of any some kind of designing of a ride or a theme park, doing art, meeting Imagineers, things that everybody in my family always told me it'll never happen, is all coming true, all within the short span of time. And it's just like, wow, if I would have gotten all of this support back when I was a kid, where could I be now? But at the same time, if it wasn't for all the life experiences I had, I wouldn't be doing a lot of the pieces that I am doing. So it's a very catch-22.
Yeah.
So Evan, looking ahead, what themes or ideas are you most excited to explore in your future work as Phineas Huckleberry?
Ooh, well, with things with Fantasy Fun Wheel, I've been doing a lot of stuff with setting up displays, designing. Like, we'll be having a couple events coming up where we're going to have exhibits in them. So I've been interested on designing and creating the spaces for those. So taking what I know from when I was a window designer with American Eagle, that will play into the new projects. But one of the biggest projects that will be coming up that I'm very working on is cataloging what there is in the collection at Fantasy Fun Wheel of artifacts from Berry Tales. That's going to be a really big move, because that encompasses everything. Because I'm sketching out all the pieces. I'm giving full reports of their condition, and it's like, if you go to the website for in the restoration section with River, I actually created a full diagram of how he's constructed. So now anybody who wants to create their own frog, they can just look at that diagram and piece together. And I mean, it's just like wire hangers, some wooden beads, some canvas, and I like almost billiard ball style size of wooden balls for the eyes, just cut the little slice out. So it's just like, it's a lot of simple items, but it's like, it's enough to where anybody, if they know what they're doing, can make it. And that's like one of the things I want to leave in the world, is like just that knowledge, because there's so much lost knowledge in the world today that might as well have it documented.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very cool. Uh, my co-host, do you guys have any other questions that you'd like to ask before we find out if the chat has any questions for Evan?
Well, you mentioned earlier, and I wanted to show this. It's not really a question, but I thought you'd like to share it with everyone else. So this is a piece of artwork that you're actually working on right now, and
Yes.
it looks really, really cool. You want to show that to everyone so they can see what it is?
So it is a little ice cream bar. I actually have a full series of sketches like this one. So it was just a concept that I came up with. I saw like a lot of pins and items in other theme parks where they were doing this with their characters, and I was like, oh, I want to do something like that with all of the Fairy Tales characters. I mean, there's so many different ones that there are to make. So I've got the Beaver Brothers, a little fudge bar. Then I have one done up for Sarah Skunk, Wanda Fox, Crafty Coyote. Let's see, who else do I have done? Thelma Frog. I have Zaz, the owl. All these different characters because there's so many to just draw from. And I first sketched them out, so I have them all up on my Instagram. And then the next step was to start creating the actual three-dimensional version, which is sculpted polymer clay, and actually actual Haagen-Dazs fudge ice cream bar stick to make it authentic. And from here, my next step will be creating the actual packaging graphics, and then the box itself. And who knows? It may actually be my piece for next year's Boysbury Festival.
Oh,
Not sure yet.
nice.
sneak preview, maybe. Oh,
I always create so many pieces and come up with so many different ideas just to be prepared. When it comes to the art shows, the turnaround is very short. Um, it's like you don't know if you're going to be invited back. So it's just like, you don't really want to start something that's going to be such a niche market. So if it's just for a specific theme park, it's like, it may not sell outside of the show. And you never know if, like, even after you get the invitation to apply, if they'll accept your idea. So I always have a lot of backup ideas just in case. Like if it looks like it's going to be a very short turnaround, like even shorter, like this past show and Scary Farm were extremely short, like way more short notice than before. So it's like I had to, especially for Scary Farm, I had to omit a lot of my original ideas, and it really changed the direction of the piece. Um, so it's just like, I always like to have a game plan going into things for however it may go, so that way I don't feel overwhelmed, because I'd rather be over prepared than not prepared at all. Yeah, so like this piece, I originally was going to be a like actual Matryoshka Russian doll set, painted, like, and they would all go into each other. But it just came down to, I got all the designing done digitally, and then when they actually showed me what the time frame was to get it finished, I was like, ooh, I'm not going to be able to get all that detail onto the figures painted. So I was like, okay, switch gears, and I just did the large digital print with the actual wooden nesting dolls on the sides to give that sense. And this is the first piece that in the shows that didn't have a Raleigh connection to it. It's more of a look at mental health. When you think about it, it's like I mean, I entitled it "Inner Demons" because we all walk around with our own set of inner demons within each other. So each scare zone, the characters I picked represent certain aspects of the dark side of your psyche. So revenge, lust, just anguish, and of course the smallest one is like insanity, because we all have a little bit of insanity in us. And yeah, it's just like it was my first piece, not really having Raleigh in mind, so it just was definitely an experiment. Oh, Robin,
No.
The cat wants me in. That's like, I got a question. See?
oh,
Oh my goodness.
she's very vocal. Yes, you are.
So's theme park casuals, cat.
I was going to say, you guys thought Skittles was bad.
I know.
But that actually brings to mind too. I was like, this is actually another artifact from Berry Tales. This is one of the original jars from the factory scene.
Oh,
This was
amazing.
another item that was gifted to me by Albert for Christmas. The only thing not original to it is the label. I actually recreated this label digitally with from the photos that are in the book, as well as other photos online. And in fact, when I showed it to Chris Crump, he asked me, "It's like, oh, is that is that one of our labels?" I was like, "No, actually, I created this last night." That was a huge, just amazing comment to hear. Like him thinking that it's one of the original ones, and he actually had recreated a scale model of the Chugga Chugga machine, which he showed on display at our main LA library event that we had about 2 months ago, and he asked if I could email him the file so that way he could put the little decals on all the jars on the model. And I was like, oh wow, just like for him to want my design of his work to be on his new work is just mind blowing. Oh yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, Dark Right Arc said you nailed it, man. And that's a cool jar. I actually got to see that the last time I was at the signing for the first signing you guys did at Knott's Berry Farm for the Knott's Berry Tales book. And these things are cool to see on camera. It's even more amazing to see them in person, especially Ribbit.
Oh yeah, it's like I always was very envious of the people who would pop up online showing that they had a frog. I mean, it's one of the most common pieces that someone may have from Berry Tales, but they're still very hard to come by. So I never thought in a million years I would have a piece from the original ride, let alone two. And when I opened up my box that Albert gave me and I saw the frog in there, it was just like another dream had come true. I mean, there just are those, like, everybody has those certain pieces from a theme park that is just like, I need to have something from that. And I've got most of my list checked off. My one of my biggest pieces that I'm so happy I got is a mustache from an animatronic from Epcot's Spaceship Earth. Like, remember when they switched up the radio scene from the guy and the girl doing a radio show together? He had a mustache on, and then when they changed the scene up and they put him behind a desk, they took off his mustache. I have that mustache.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's just, I have it framed it somewhere in one of the boxes. We did some painting here because had the place rewired, so I have to get back out of the box. But yeah, that's one of my big pieces that I own. Yeah,
that's cool. So Membies, I wonder if the kitty is hungry. Wait, or Jeddah.
She's very
kitty
vocal.
wants a bow.
She likes telling me stories. For some reason, Timmy just keeps on falling in the well. Isn't that right?
Cordy, do you have any other questions for Phineas?
No, I'm just like taking it all in. It's just quite a journey you've been on. It's wonderful for you to share all of this with us.
Yeah, my life is filled with very interesting stories. I mean, some of them you would think are completely fake because they're just too, the circumstances are just too out there. But if it's something weird, something odd, and just something like almost near impossible, it more than likely will happen to me. It's like, here, I actually was stalked by Corey Haim for a month back in 2005. Believe it or not. Yep. From that, actually, because of that, they actually created the TV show The Coreys on A&E.
Mhm.
That was because of my interaction with him.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Another one of my claims to fame.
wow.
It's a very interesting story.
Well, if anyone has any questions for Evan or Phineas,
Yeah.
go ahead and put those in the chat and let us know.
Yeah. I want to know more. Maybe I'll just message you. You intrigued me
Oh, yeah.
with Corey Haim story.
I met Corey Haim, and then through Corey Haim, he introduced me to Corey Feldman, and some of the stories that I was told is just like, wow. Let's just say a lot of the stuff that like goes around the internet about things that happen, they're true. Yeah, they're all true.
Gosh, goodness gracious.
We have a question.
Oh, sure.
It says at Park Streamers Hangout, what has Evan worked on for Scary Farm?
Well, I've done 2 Scary Farm shows. The first one I did, I called it a Foggy Undertaking, and that was done in a style of a mix of Raleigh Crump and Hayden Evans, who I've met. He's a really amazing guy. He did some text and font work on the book, and I met him a couple times at Midsummer Scream. And that also had a lot of inspiration from another Disney Imagineer, Kevin Kidney. I always admired his 3D paper crafting work.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I try to use a lot of that in my pieces because it's an interesting medium to work with. And I loved seeing stuff like that in like the entry titles for like a Parent Trap, and there was a cartoon they did on Noah's Ark, where it was like all the family was made up of all these different little pieces, like little spools of thread and stuff. So it's like I like mixing together stuff like that, just because it brings back those memories of watching those films and cartoons. But the next piece I did was last year's Scary Farm. That was my piece, The Inner Demons. So just those 2 pieces so far. Still have yet to come up with an idea of what to do for this year's if I'm invited. Oh yeah.
I think that was one of our questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see this one. It was Evan, are you doing a piece for Scary Farm this year?
Oh, hi, Karsten. That actually is my supervisor, Karsten. He's an amazing artist. The work that he does for concepts are just so amazing. He's got such a style to his work, and it's like he gets amazed by the stuff I do, but I get more amazed by what he can do. Like he can come up with illustrations so quick, while some pieces that I work on, it'll take me days to figure it out and how I want to do it, or like, track down some kind of reference to look from. But for this Scary Farm, not sure just yet. Look, I do want to do a piece. I was kind of thinking of maybe doing the Scary Tales version of Dr. Fox, which, well, he was actually holding I think he was holding a bloody head or something in it. I'll have to track down the photo, but yeah, like they would redo the scene up like he was a death dealer and then a snake oil salesman. So I might think about doing something like that just to keep in theme. But who knows? It's like my ideas for the show is always change and adapt, and I usually end up with like 4 or 5 different ideas by the time the shows come around.
Well, a very important question was, what's the kitty's name? But I think you said the kitty's name is Robin, right?
Yes, this one's Robin. I have 6 cats in all. The oldest is Madame Coco, named after Coco Chanel. Then the next one is Cheetah Frida Evita, named after Cheetah Rivera, Frida Kahlo, and Evita Peron.
Nice.
And then she had a litter of 4, and we had Sigmund, Siggy, Robin, and then Lily. Robin and Lily are twins, so they're the 2 identical black cats. Although Lily is a little more, thicker and fluffier.
Well, Jungo says she didn't have any questions. Just wanted to say thank you for sharing your passion with us. You can tell how much you love what you do. So very cool.
Yeah, I always see it as, always like try to inspire people. Never try to limit others for what they want to do, because you never know what they'll be able to accomplish. And I always keep myself as an open book. If anybody has questions to ask me, I will answer them very truthfully. And sometimes, well, mainly my family, they don't like how truthful I am on a lot of things. It's like, don't ask me how I'm doing if you don't really want to know. But it's like, just talking about things and opening up to people, it leads to so many new experiences. And just striking up a conversation with a random person, it could lead to an amazing change in your life. You never know. It's just like, that's one of the things I learned really from reaching out, like when I first reached out to Raleigh. I never thought I would hear anything back, but just like from there, I was like, you know what about others? So I just like kept on reaching out to people, taking chances, and just just genuinely being thankful to everyone. And the response back has just been so amazing. And it just never limit yourself. Never tell yourself from the bat that it can't happen. It is not an opportunity that you'll ever be able to do. Just go at it with an open mind and take a chance, because it could just lead to what you're looking for.
Awesome.
And that's it.
I didn't
think I was gonna look. Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Then we just have a couple more questions. So, Evan, have you worked with Mr. Murdy from HHN?
I haven't worked with anybody from Halloween Horror Nights. I have followed a lot of their work, but nothing. No work with them directly. Just admiration. That's pretty much it. I would love to do something like for an actual maze or a scare zone. That would be awesome. But who knows? I know enough people behind the scenes, especially at Knott's, that I could be hit up and it's like, hey, it's like, would you mind doing like a piece commission for this maze or something? I'm open to it. Especially if it's costumes. I can do amazing costumes. I do so much different work.
Awesome.
Nudge, nudge, hint, hint.
So Mike was asking go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike. I was going to say, Mike is asking, is Evan familiar with Lebo art? His style reminds me a little of his work.
I'll admit the name sounds familiar, but I can't picture it straight off the top of my head. I tend to really gravitate towards a lot of the same like styles of artists. Although I do follow a lot of different genres. I am very big with like the impressionistic painters. Like love Monet, Van Gogh. Those are like I love just the details and just the textures that created with the paint strokes. But I like a lot of contemporary artists as well. Oh geez, I can't think of many of their names off the top of my head, but like a lot of the similar styles, like the whole kind of esoteric, gritty, like design and aesthetic is very very interesting for me. It's just like the mixture of textures and just styles are. It gives me a lot of inspiration. And just like I like being able to draw from very similar ideas, like in styles, so that way it shows what that style is capable of, and it's like gives me something like to expand on for my pieces. So I'm always looking at similar styles to just kind of fill out the storage in my brain.
So I know that you have another event that's coming up that I think all of us are going to be at, and I can't wait to go to it. And you created this picture right here. I love this picture. It's a great artwork that you came up with. But this is actually advertising the Knott Berry Tells Complete History of the Whimsical Attraction book for the second signing that you guys are going to be doing at Knott Berry Farm. And you're going to have a couple guests this time. Can you tell us about the guests you're going to have on May 4th?
Yes, we're going to be having Chris Crumb with us. He's going to be doing the signing. This will be his third signing. Yes, his third signing with us on the book. And then for the first time, we're going to have Eddie Soto, which I am so excited to finally meet him. He actually is one of the first people that saw some of my early work. Well, mainly because of Eric Linksweiler. And he showed him, like when I gave Eric the fanny pack that I painted up, he had actually showed Eddie Soto, and just like, he was like, yeah, Eddie really likes your work. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So to be able to meet him and actually like talk with him, that'll be amazing. But yeah, we're gonna coming up on May 4th, we're gonna have our second signing at the factory store from 12 to 2, and I'm hoping to give us enough tables, but
right. Last time they only gave you one.
Well, they gave us the book signing very short notice. I think we had just over a week, if that,
wow,
to get everything put together. So yeah, that was like, it was very quick paced, and I mean, just getting the book, we had to go through a lot to get the book in the park itself. So we had to look into special merchant insurance and stuff. So I had to research all that, get those turned in, and just the whole process of the different departments you have to go through to get the purchase orders and send invoices and everything too. It's just like, it's a very long process, longer than I expected, but it's a lot of papers. And since Fantasy Fun, we're a new company, I had to create a lot of the forms for our end, like right off the bat. So it's like, having to research, okay, how are these forms supposed to look? And then type them up and create a template for us to use. That took some time. But yeah, it's like we finally got the book in the park, which it's amazing to have it there. And although the process was so long to get it there, it's like we sold a lot of people outside the park to the site, in the main area, like the local area, then the park will probably get to. So they lost out on a lot of sales.
Well, hopefully there's other fans out there, and if you're just even a slight theme park fan, it's a must-have for your library. I will say that it is an absolutely fantastic book.
Word has actually gotten over to Europe already, and we actually had our first 2 international customers. We had, for how expensive shipping is right now, we had a customer from France fly in just to buy our book.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, he flew in, stayed at a hotel over in Glendale, and I had to mail the book to the hotel in order for him to be able to get it, because it would have been almost the price of a ticket to ship it over to France.
Wow.
And then
That's
we had
crazy.
another customer in England. He wanted the book, and I mean, for a book that is 12 by 9, barely an inch thick, and only weighs about 3 pounds 9 ounces, it was almost $100 just to ship it.
Yikes.
That's their USPS. You don't even want to know how much FedEx and UPS were.
Wow.
Yeah, UPS was almost $400, and that was to
Well-
ship it in a plastic bag.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
I was like, it's not in a box; it's in a plastic bag. Like, $400? No.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
Now with all the tariffs and everything, who knows how much it is now? I was lucky to be able to get all that done right before the price hike. So like, I was very happy with
Well,
that.
I will share with you that I was at Knott's Berry Farm this past weekend, and I was pleasantly surprised. I forgot to send this over to Eric and Chris, but this is what they had on display. This is at the Gold Trails Hotel Mercantile Store, right there next to Ghost Rider. And it was cool. They actually had the book out on display. It says new item. So
Yeah,
very,
it's
very
like-
cool.
We're very happy that the book is in multiple shops on property. So it's like we have Golden Trails. There's small display in Virginia's, and then the main display is in the factory store. So it's just like,
Yeah.
it's good to know that it's in multiple spots.
Mhm. And just want to remind everyone too, if you do go to the book signing on May 4th, it's going to be in the factory store, and that's where you can find it from 12 to 2. So
And Ribbert will be there. So if anybody wants to see him in person, he will be there. We also, we're waiting on the approval. We're hoping to have one of the larger figures there for display. So that is going to
that would be awesome.
a big.
Very cool.
It's just the question of space in the store, since there's not much you can do with the fixtures that are in there already.
Right.
Yeah, the one thing that was kind of a bummer is you guys were sitting, or all of you were like right in front of all the artwork, and people were trying to like look at the artwork while the book signing's going on. So
It's all about just the amount of space in there. It was very last minute, and they weren't able to allocate helpers for us. So I had to be the one to put all the tables up and put the tablecloth on and get all the things set up. So it just was just a one man job at the time. But this time we'll actually have they made sure they had it scheduled out to have more people there. We'll actually have point people to help with guest control, and we'll have a liaison that will be there to help us with anything that we need. Since we're gonna need at least 2 or 3 tables this time, and just the amount of stuff that we want to bring in, because we want to be able to show the public as much work that we've been doing as possible, just to keep the buzz going and the energy going for Berry Tales. It's like there are many people out there that just feel that Berry Tales is for a created IP for a specific park, that it's
Right.
kind of like seen as the redheaded stepchild. So it's like not really show the love that it's meant to have. It's like, why aren't they doing more with it? I mean, we're very surprised at how much character interaction they put into the Boys of Berry Festival this year. That was a very big surprise, seeing the new shows. So we're very happy about that. But it's like there's so much more that they can do. And just like I've been dropping hints with some of the people in the art department over at Knott's. It's like, you should redo the arcade into like the all Berry, like fairy tales kind of theme, like redo like the whack-a-moles with like the pups or something, or like the little knockdown punk game, like have it where like the balls are made to look like pies and throw them at different weird creatures that are lined up. There's so many different things that you could do.
Yeah, it'd be fun. We showed the announcement that you created for the May 4th, but that's your Instagram. Bob, could you pull that up again so everybody can learn where they can find him on Instagram?
Sure. Let me do that real quick.
And Evan, if you would like to just give the @ for everyone.
Okay, so it's at Phineas_Huckleberry at Instagram. And then also on my on there, you'll see a link to my TeePublic store. I do put a lot of my designs on T-shirts, stickers, magnets, and pillows. So a lot of my designs are available on there. My newest design is my Beatnik Raleigh. I just finished him up yesterday. But yeah, I have a lot of different designs. Even Disney parks, I have a whole series of country bears on there. Then let's see, what was I have on there? I have so many different.
You got the Scary Farm, the Foggy Undertaking.
Yeah. Oh, my ice cream list shirt. That one. I actually got inspired by a shirt I saw for Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
So I kind of modeled that setup that's on there. And what I love about TeePublic is just the different styles that they have for the items and the color option. I mean, sometimes it can take a little bit longer than usual, but I mean, the quality has always been really good. It's for myself. And yeah, and then I do have a whole set of monsters on there too. So I have like Dolly from the Boulet Brothers Dragula. I've got Adrian. Brain just went on his name. No, Israel Zamora. There we go. Who's like the assistant on the show. I have his design on there, and then I have. I don't have some of the other monsters on there yet, but I'm trying to release designs every couple weeks to keep it fresh. Just a lot of the big ones that people buy are like the stickers because they end up turning out really cute. But on here you'll see the Crafty Coyote ice cream bar. Yeah, I want to create that one up and. Yeah, Jason, if you're listening, you'll probably get that as a Christmas gift sometime. Yeah, Jason Ibarra, who goes around the park as Crafty Coyote with the Crafty Pie Thieves, he actually is the owner of Wanda that I did last year, which was gifted to him by Wilf. Wilf, who is the head of the foods department at Knott's.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm super happy that. It went to an amazing home. I actually gave Jason my first Crafty Coyote frame that I had made. I actually did that one before the pandemic, so that would have been either 2019 or 2018. I did it up, and it was really really cute. It had a little crack on the glass, but I ended up masking it with. Some drips of purple paint mixed with the varnish to make it look like boysenberry jam has fallen off because there was pie on the top piece of the frame, so it worked out really good.
Very cool.
And I did pin the link for the TeePublic, so if you want to check that out, some fun stuff on there. So
it's like I when I first started doing art back in like 2011, I started a Zazzle shop, and it's just like I was putting all my designs for Epcot Horizons on there, and I was very surprised how many people were fans of the ride. I never got a chance to ride that ride. And I missed it by a couple months. Like the first time I went to Epcot, I had just missed it when it closed down, and I fell in love with it when Mesa Verde Times started up. I mean, I followed that blog religiously up until they had to take a hiatus, and then Chief, one of the writers of it, he passed from cancer, I believe. But I still keep in touch with Hoot, the other creator. He works with Disney Imagineering and creates a lot of really good pieces that he sells on. He hand sculpts and molds them, and then sells replicas on eBay. So I still have yet to get one of his pieces, but one of these days I will.
Awesome. Well, Evan, Phineas, thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome to hang out with us. We're going to be talking a little bit more Disney parks right now, but this was a fantastic time hearing about your art, hearing about your journey, and all the ups and downs through it all. I've got to say this is fantastic to hear that you get to know that your art is in a good home. That I know as an artist is one of the big things, that it's when you're releasing a piece like that, it's just, you really want it to go to somebody that is going to care for it. So love hearing that. But again, thank you so much for joining us. This was fantastic. And I know we'll probably be seeing you on May 4th. Mainly because me, Bob, and Cordy do get priority line placement, is correct, for the signing.
And if we don't have the posters available for the fourth signing, I'll make sure I'll stack a copy for you guys, and just come up and see me, and I'll give them to you.
Awesome.
We'll have a new poster done up for our event coming up on the 31st with the LA Breakfast Club. That's held at the Friendship Hall near Griffith Park. It's at 7 o'clock in the morning.
On April 30th.
But it's April 30th. Oh, that's very close. But yeah, it's like that will be extremely worth the price of admission. You get breakfast, get the lecture of the book, and then that's where we're actually releasing back to the public. We're going to have the figure for Wanda on display. She just got finished with her restoration, and we'll have a display for that, which I'm actually designing. Yeah, we're very excited to show people how she looks, because we brought her back to how she looked originally back in 1975, and just like the style of her fur and her face now looks so much better than it did in the 80s. Way better.
Awesome.
But yeah, this is the poster we're gonna have. So I'll definitely make sure I grab you guys and save you guys copies of this, so you guys can get one.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, we are going to go ahead and shift gears now. Evan, like I said, you're welcome to stay on if you need to take off. I know you've got the cat was screaming at you, so if you have to drop off, we completely understand. But we're going to shift. We've got some. Do you guys want to talk Star Wars Night? Because I know Bob and Cordy were able to get to Star Wars Night, and
so I'm not sure you saw my message in the private chat, Danny, but maybe you check that out real quick. And then Evan, are you going to stay with us?
I think I should probably head out. I still need to make sure they get her fed or more water if she needs it.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's been an amazing experience, and just I really like sharing my story to people, just to try and inspire and just help with the anybody else that's starting out with things. Just like give them some more information. But yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Awesome, thanks, and hopefully we'll be able to have you back, and you can give us updates on either your next Berry Farm piece that's released, or updates on the projects and refurbishments and everything that's going on for the actual Berry Tales figures.
Oh, awesome! Definitely will do. And it's like we also will be updating the website with all the information too. So it's like definitely keep an eye on the website and look for some of the new updates coming up.
Awesome. Thanks again, Evan.
All right, no problem. You have a good one.
Evan.
Have a great night, my
Bye,
friend.
Evan.
Robin.
See you
Bye.
soon.
All right, so we're shifting to Star Wars Celebration, not Star Wars Night.
Yeah. So just real quick, my brother-in-law and my niece are actually in Tokyo right now. And I believe my brother-in-law, maybe even my niece, are going to join us from Tokyo live so that we can talk to them about what it was like for them to be at Star Wars Celebration. And then we'll talk about some of the news that was coming out of there. They also had to get a chance to go to Disneyland Tokyo as well as Fantasy Springs. So maybe they'll tell us a little bit about that. But I'd like to introduce my brother-in-law and my niece. This is Adam and Frida. Adam goes by Adam in Anaheim.
Greetings, everyone.
Hey,
Hey, theme park. Hey, Cordy.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
We're running on empty, but we're having a good time.
I talked to them like 4 hours ago, and they were like waking up because it's like, well, actually, what time it was? It was like 8 in the morning or
It's,
something like that when they woke
Yeah,
up.
it was about 8 o'clock. Yeah, we'll be connected.
I love that when we connected. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. I'm awake. So you guys had the opportunity to go to Star Wars Celebration, and obviously, this was supposed to be a family thing. I was supposed to go over there with you guys, and unfortunately, it didn't happen. But what was it like, going to the Star Wars Celebration this year in Tokyo? Because it sounded like it was the biggest international Star Wars celebration they've ever had.
You know what it was? Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
We can hear you.
Okay. It was, and just the amount. I think I mentioned it to you, Bob, about the amount of people that were there was just really surprising to me. Because other conventions, it seemed like a lot of people, but here it would just seem like more, and I think it's because of Japan was the destination that everyone wanted to come to.
And we noticed the difference because on day one, it was packed, but it wasn't fully packed compared to Saturday morning. The lines were just outrageous.
So even more than Star Wars Celebration in Europe, because we were all there 2 years ago for that one.
I would say even more, because I spoke to several people there who were at the Star Wars Celebration in Europe, and they said, yeah, definitely more. This was just like overwhelming. And
So
I think Diego Luna made a comment too that there was over 130 something nationalities representing there at the convention. So there was a lot of people from all over the world.
Yeah, it was supposed to be over 105,000 guests from
Yes.
125 different countries were in attendance, which is
Exactly.
basically 8% of the increase over the overall attendance from the last celebration that happened in London. So that's crazy.
Yeah. But I would have to say the venue was great. It was so open. It was like in a big airplane hangar. That's what it seemed like.
Like multiple hangars.
Multiple hangars. Because Bob, remember in London, everything kind of seemed compact and it just seemed kind of closed in.
Mm-hmm.
But
here,
here everything was just wide open, but still a lot of people.
So can you tell us about some of the Star Wars announcements that you heard about over there?
Well, the big one, the Ryan Gosling and the Sean Levy Starfighter is coming up. So I had heard rumors about Sean Levy directing a movie some time ago. But directors were announced before in the past: James Mangold, Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi was directed to set one, and they never came through. But for him showing up here and announcing it, it's a go. I think Ryan Gosling coming out. So yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, they actually had a little teaser. I'll show it to you guys real quick so you can see it.
Yeah.
This was the teaser they actually played at the show.
Nice.
And the footage out of that. Wow. I'm just kidding. Well, May 28th, 2027. That's finally another Star Wars film. But this one obviously is set.
Yeah, they're in
Sorry,
pre-production, so it's a go.
Yeah. Yeah, they start filming, I think, in the fall. But what did you think about the announcement for the new Mandalorian Grogu and new crew controls coming to Smuggler's Run in Star Wars Galaxy?
Uh-oh. Connection, Bob.
What's that? Oh, bad
I
connection.
think they're having bad connection.
Hello?
Ah, yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear me now?
It's getting clearer.
It's getting clearer.
Okay.
You were frozen and spotty.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Now we can see it.
All right. So what did you guys think of the news about the brand new, let's see, I think it was the Grogu. Oops, I just clicked off of it. There we go. So it was the Mandalorian Grogu and new crew controls coming to Smuggler's Run. Did you hear about that?
No, I think they're having connection issues again.
Oh, connections.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, I think we lost him completely.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they come back. Oh, here we go.
Can you hear us?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
There.
Oh, I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
we can hear you.
Okay.
Round 2.
Okay,
One
let's
thing
try
I
that
do
question
wanna say,
first.
though,
What's
Oh.
that?
one thing I am looking forward to that Dave Filoni did confirm, there's going to be loft kittens, and they're going to be so small and their legs aren't strong enough, so they're going to roll around.
For the Galaxy's Edge?
No, probably in one of the shows.
It's a character from the Ahsoka series. It was I
Right.
think it was Sabine's pet
Sabine's cat.
cat.
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be a major toy line according to Dave Filoni. So
Oh,
a lot of people
toy
are looking
line.
forward to that. Yeah,
Well, that's
cat's
cool.
gonna
I was
have
gonna
his own
say,
toy line.
if we had something like that with the BDX droids over in Galaxy's Edge, yes, finally we're getting some more, livelihood over in Galaxy's Edge. So I was asking earlier, and I don't think you guys could hear me, but they have the brand new Mandalorian Grogu and new crew controls coming to Smuggler's Run. Did you hear about that? And what did you think about it?
You know what? I heard we weren't there when it was announced, but I had heard about it. People were talking about it. So I don't know. You might have more details than I do, but a lot of people were excited about it from where I was talking to. So, and I think a lot of people are just excited about the movie in general.
Yeah,
especially with the addition of Sigourney Weaver. So that's a big plus.
Yeah. They had quite a few things they announced at the Star Wars Celebration this year. I mean, obviously they have the Light and Magic Season 2 that's coming out, which is really cool. They also have the new Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. They had Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire. Now they have Tales of the Underworld that's coming out. Obviously, Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord. That's going to be the new animated series, which looks like it's going to be pretty good. Let's see, what else they announced? Oh, Andor Season 2, which is actually coming out. I think it's this week, isn't it? And then they talked about the new Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past Lego show. That's going to be coming out. There's a volume 3 of Star Wars Visions coming out. So there's quite a few different things that they're working on that they're planning for the next few years or couple years. The one thing I definitely wanted to bring up, though, since we were talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu and the new controls coming to Smuggler's Run. So let me share my screen with you guys so you can see it. This is actually what they presented on the Disney blog site. And I think this is kind of cool because the crew has never actually had a chance to make any decisions. They play, but there have been complaints about, what you can and can't do in this ride. So you actually have a control with new powers for the crew. So starting May 22nd, 2026 at the Walt Disney World Resort and Disneyland on the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, it'll allow guests to control the iconic ship like never before. So for the first time ever, the crew will be in control of their own destination, leading to potential adventures on Bespin, the wreckage of the second Death Star and around Endor, or the just announced bustling city of Coruscant. And another new gameplay addition allows the engineer positions to communicate with Grogu during the mission, which is kind of cool because, one of the complaints from a lot of people was that the engineer position didn't have a whole lot to do compared to some of the other positions on the ride. And so now it's going to allow the engineers to communicate with Grogu, which is kind of cool. And then obviously you got Mando and Grogu joining the adventure in this thrilling, storyline, but you're in control of your own destiny. So you guys get to choose as a crew which way you're going to go, which location. And so I think it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, it was really, really neat to see that they're trying to expand the ride, because it's not just, hey, you're getting in there and hitting some controls. Now you're actually in control of where you're going to go and how things are going to run. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it makes more interactive. Makes you more than just a passenger. You're actually, like you said, Bob, in control. Now I'm looking forward to it. Anything more interactive, I think, with the Star Wars ride or toy, I think it's just more beneficial to the experience and the excitement.
Yeah. And I know you guys have to catch a train here shortly, so just another question, and Danny, Cordy, if you have some questions, please chime in. But you got to go to Disneyland Tokyo, and you got to go to Fantasy Springs. Can you tell us what Fantasy Springs was like for you?
Fantasy Springs was amazing. The amount of detail that they put into just everything. I mean, when we first walked in, you walk in and there's like a big waterfall version of Elsa and Anna. They made it look like it was carved into the mountain. Just the detail on their face, the detail on what they were wearing, just everything very detailed. It was amazing. And they had other versions of Ariel too that was carved. Everything, it was like Disney on a higher level when it comes to the detail of craftsmanship that they had going on there. But again, Arendelle was like you were stopped walking right into Arendelle. Everything was there. Big iconic mountain in the background. The music that was playing, and some of the cast members were, let's say, at the ice cream shop Frida and I went into. The guy that was helping us was totally into character with the guy in the supply shop. Remember where they walked in looking for supplies in the movie?
Yep.
Remember that part?
Oh, yeah.
Wandering Oaken.
Yeah, Wandering Oaken.
Yeah, he was totally into character in that guy, which made it even more of kind of a fun experience. But no, it was great. The ride, Tangled, great ride, beautiful detail, the lanterns that were floating, everything looked realistic. The animatronics on them looked realistic, more movement, more facial expressions. I don't have to say more of the eye contact. And the same thing with what was it? I'm sorry, running on a few hours sleep. On the Frozen ride. On the Frozen ride. Again, just all the detail, just amazing. Oops. I gotta be mindful. I got people here waiting in the hotel.
Danny, Cordy, did you guys have any questions?
No, just I can't wait to go myself.
Yeah, I'm dying to get to Tokyo. I really wish I would have done it when I had the chance. I went to China and I didn't add on a few days to Tokyo, so still kicking myself for that one.
Yeah, Tokyo was amazing too. Tokyo, I liked the layout there. Everything was wide open. There was none of that crowd coming in a masses in one small little walkway. Everything was spread out. Even though there was a lot of people there, it didn't seem like it amount because everything was spread out. There was enough elbow room for everybody walking down that street. So, but we had a good time there too. And we got on majority of all the rides.
Awesome.
Great.
That is cool. Well, I know you guys have a train to catch, and I know that we brought you on real quick, but thank you so much, Adam, and tell Frida we said thank you as well, and hope you have a safe flight home, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, we got a long journey ahead of us, so I'm not looking forward to that 11-hour layover in Hong Kong, but we'll see how it goes.
Oh, it's 11 hours.
11-hour layover in Hong Kong. So, but we'll make do. All righty, well, thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
All righty, safe travels.
Safe travels. See ya. Bye-bye. All right. Well, thanks for letting me cover that. He just sent me a text message while we were finishing up with Evan going, we got a train to catch at 2:00. I'm like, oh, let's hurry up and get you on the show real quick and get off real quick. So
yeah, that was a treat. That was nice.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, so we can actually say we asked people from Tokyo joining our show.
I know.
All right. So take it away, Danny, because now we can go into the other part.
Well, we didn't get to talk about the Millennium Falcon thing though ourselves.
We did, but not between ourselves. Yeah, that's right. So let's talk about that. What do you
just
guys
real
think?
quick? You guys know what I'm going to say.
Say it.
Not impressed. I'll believe everything when I see it because they keep saying, oh, it's going to, be, building everything real time. That's fine if we can seriously go wherever we want to go. But we were told that for the original Smuggler's Run that, oh, it's building things as you're flying and, go, but that's great. But we can only go through this much area. That doesn't count as building anything, So if it's really going to be a wide open type of thing and you can go, if you want to go hard right and you're going flying, taking off that way, fine, I'll believe it and it'll be great and whatever. But, the interaction with Grogu, all I kept thinking was part of the issue that a lot of people have is the fact that there is interaction. It's like, we don't want to be pushing buttons. We want to watch and enjoy what's going on the screen, what's happening in the ride. We don't want to sit here and have to look this way and and miss whatever's going on over here. That seems to be where the main action is. Why am I having to look at these little lights? And you're adding
called
more
Star Tours.
Be that as it may, and that's why most people say I like Star Tours better.
Yep.
Although I do like being a pilot. That is fun.
See?
Right. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, why didn't they do a series of TIE fighters and X-Wings and everybody gets their own thing and you can pilot and you're flying along on your own? That's how it should have been.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Adding the engineer thing, the I'm shooting. Look, I'm shooting.
Yeah, I hear you.
What this whole concept of this attraction is just a slightly off target kind of concept for me.
Well, Cordy, what do you think? What do you think?
I mean, I'm just excited anytime we get something new or refreshed and
right. I completely agree with that. I like that they're attempting something. I just don't know if this is going to be, what it needs to be. So, but I applaud them for trying, and hopefully I'll be, you guys next year, a year from now, you guys will be saying, oh, see, TPC, you were completely wrong. If that's the case, I will be more than happy to say, you know what, you're right. I was completely wrong. They impressed me. They did it right. I hope that's what I'm saying.
Well, and I think too, it'll, hopefully it'll last longer, but to drive crowds that way, because that's always the one we go to, like, oh, we know we can get on that in a minute. Hopefully, that's right.
Double single rider.
That's true.
Yep. Yeah,
But,
you're completely right.
Change it up a little, right? I mean, we can always do little single rider, but hopefully.
Well, I'm curious how that's going to work because you can choose where you're going, right? That's the new premise.
But I have a feeling it's just going to be one location on that whole entire ride because, look, the way the ride is now, it's basically you fly off to the planet, you try to go get the coaxium, you get the first one, you try to get a second one. If you don't or you do, then you have to escape, and then
right. But what I'm saying is this one, before you take off, you can say we want to go to Bespin. Right.
Yeah, you're going to be able to choose as a crew. So I'm not sure. I'm sure it's like maybe it's a poll. See, who wants to go where.
Right.
And then whatever.
It'll be interesting to see how that shakes out for people. Because for us, like you said, Cordy, we can go single rider line, get on there real quick, but we may not have any say. And it's like okay, we're going to Bespin again.
Right.
I always figure that's the trade-off, that if you're doing single rider, like you get what you get, otherwise go stand in
exactly.
Yeah. But it sounds like as a crew you're going to choose. So I don't. You got 6 people choosing. I don't know.
Right.
My whole thing is I'm glad because originally, and by the way, they can't all be as good as web slingers.
Yes, I had to put that up there.
Yeah. my thing is, they originally had 3 stories planned with 3 movies with 3 different locations. So this is kind of like the same thing. And one of those locations was the second Death Star. So it kind of makes me wonder, are they finally bringing that one forward to us so that we can play that? I think that once you choose your location, you're going to fly off to wherever you need to go to do whatever you need to do. Now, I'm hoping that we're going to have some new missions where we have to, find someone or take out some bad guys or something where you're not just going after more coaxium, obviously. So that'll be interesting. I think that I'm glad that they're trying to do a little more interaction. I get your point that, it takes away from you watching the movie. To be honest with you, when I'm sitting there, I'm holding the gimbal and I'm sitting there like this, and I'm like, okay, I got it. Okay, now I'm doing an engineer. I got this over here.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I'm just like bouncing around. So I know what you mean, especially if you have a gimbal in your hand. But when you don't have a gimbal in your hand, usually I'm just like, looking at the screen, and then I know what to do. Obviously, if it's a gunner or it's a pilot, you can usually do those without looking so much. But if you're an engineer, you have to be looking at those lights because you got to push certain buttons and those combinations. Otherwise, you're in trouble. But at least they're trying to give a little bit more to do to you, like communicate with Grogu. Now, it sounds gimmicky. I agree, but we'll have to wait and see how they implement it. And I hope they do implement it well, so it is. Because the one thing
I'm trying to think, how do you interact with Grogu? What do you do?
Well, first you put on this glitter hat. Then you communicate via your mind to Grogu.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, it's like, what are they going to have you do other than push other buttons? And maybe they've got something up their sleeve. I don't know, but I'm just saying, it's like I can't imagine what else you can do. I mean, you can't talk to
Grogu mode instead of Chewie mode. They can do Grogu mode. And Grogu will just
everybody gets fish eggs. Or frog eggs or whatever the heck they are.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
But that's my thing. I'm trying to figure out, okay, what do they have you do with Grogu that's, wow, you want to be the engineer now.
Yeah, I don't know how that's
I don't know.
With engineer. Yeah. Maybe
is it going to be you get to throw the little frog eggs at him and he's, oh, he caught that one. Great, cool.
No, probably like, Grogu, I need help with fixing the ship or something like that. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I'm just, everybody's excited about this, but I'm like, I don't know what you're going to do. How do you interact with Grogu?
But more than anything, I'm excited because we're going to different locations. That's what I'm most excited about. Yes, it seems a little gimmicky, all this other stuff, but the fact that we're going to be with different characters and we're going to be going to different locations. We've been doing the same thing, with getting the coaxium cable for 5 years now, going 6 years technically, and I'm just like, I'm done with the coaxium cable. All right, I don't want the coaxium at all. Yeah. Chewie can have it.
Yeah, so hopefully just changing it up and giving you options makes it better. That's
because it has such potential. Like I went on it. Time Runner was in town, one of our viewers, and so we did dual, single rider, but it was later in the evening, so we got our own ship. But it was fun. We were like laughing the whole time because we're like piloting this thing, crashing into everything. But
you both play pilots?
Could be, yeah.
Oh wow!
But
it's funny.
It'd be fun, right? Like that kind of thing when you're there with.
Only once, and I was streaming when it happened. I got to be all by myself. There was no one else. It was just me. And I'm like, this is going to be so easy because they're going to take care of all the controls and I just have to worry about one station. No. Right. Are you kidding? I had the worst time. I got probably one of the worst scores ever. And I've had some pretty worst scores with some of the people I've ridden with who cannot pilot the ship. Cordy. Danny. Wait, who? Just kidding. But the funny thing is that you think, oh well, I'm going to do a great job because I'm by myself, but no, they don't let you do that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
They say they're going to.
What's the highest score you guys have ever gotten? Do you know?
I don't even know. I don't pay attention.
I have no clue. I think I'm always a marauder.
Yeah, 11,000 is the highest I've ever gotten. But the top score is like 13,000. I've never ever gotten 13,000.
Yeah, that's Speaking of coaxium, can you still get the coaxium spur? Yes. And I found out something. So I like the Tatooine sunset. And I thought, oh, you can't get that, But then Heather Jungle Fett, she let me know that you can. So even on the mobile order, you can mobile order the sipper, and the Tatooine and the other one are on there as an option. So it's like a $1 upcharge. But
Okay.
oh yeah, you can do that.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
I still need to try the Tatooine sunset.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I haven't had it either.
Oh, did anybody ever try the cheese stick thing?
I did.
How is it?
I loved it.
Okay.
Cordy
I
tries
still
everything.
do my video. I'm horrible.
What? Cheese? I'll try it.
It was really good, because the French fries all crunchy from the French fries on the outside. There's not a ton of cheese, but I got a pretty good cheese pull. But the sauce that it comes with, it's kind of like I don't even know. I'm like, it's kind of cheesy, ranchy, chipotle mix. But I think it needs that because it's kind of plain, without it. But I liked it.
Cool.
All right. Where are we going next?
Star Wars Night.
Star Wars Night. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over to Bob and Cordy because they were the ones that have been able to go to Star Wars Night. I did not attend this year, so I'll just keep my comments to myself. And Bob and Cordy, take it away.
Go ahead, Cordy.
There it is. There's still plenty of nights, right?
Oh yes, look at this.
Available.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only one night is sold out.
Yeah, so there are still days, and there were no Star Wars nights last week.
No.
So, but I went opening night, and I went the 2 years prior. I didn't go to any of them before that, so I'm kind of a newbie at it. But I enjoyed myself so much the last 2 years, just had so much fun. But I'm sad to say that I couldn't, say the same for this year. Even last year without the fireworks, that was a bummer, but still had a lot of fun. This year, it was lacking for me, it was just really a shame. Yeah.
You want to tell us
Was
why?
it specific things that were lacking that you could say this is what's lacking, or there was you just were there and you felt like something was missing?
It felt very because I didn't feel like I had to do a lot of homework the previous years as far as finding photo opportunities and where's the characters, this year, with the Ewoks. Well, there was one Ewok, not Ewoks, plural. There was a sign, and I thought, oh, we don't get Ewoks this year. It's just this, this background sign, because everybody was taking pictures in front of it. I didn't realize that way down yonder by Pooh's Corner, there was an Ewok that you could picture with. Not sure why they did that, but I felt like there were also things missing from the guide. I don't think everything was listed and all of the characters, and it was just very, I don't know, there were odd things like last year at, and I just call it interventions, but over there you would kind of do this walkthrough. So you got to see R2-D2 and, depending on your timing, you would see Luke and Leia.
Right. And
then there was also a character, I don't remember the guy, but I have a picture with him, but he was running through a red creature, coming through the line and taking pictures with all of us.
Wasn't that the Gamorrean Guard, I think?
Yes. So that was awesome because it was super interactive while we were waiting in line to take, our picture with Jabba the Hutt. And then we had Han Solo in the
Carbonite.
So it was all in one place, which was great. I thought that was actually very smart. This time I just happened upon Jabba the Hutt over at the Fantasyland Theater, way on the side. So they had the Jedi, training, but then they had him over by the train station, which was, I don't know, it just seemed weird. And then I didn't even see Luke and Leia. And then where was the carbonite? Was that there?
I didn't even see it this year.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it. And then I didn't realize, I went into the little that extended queue for Star Tours, and I saw I think BB-8 was in there. No. Another droid. And so I'm like, oh, okay, they're, taking a picture with the droid. And then of course I found out the next day, oh no, they had Han Solo and Leia were in there. And I'm like, oh well, who knew? And no March of the, I'm sorry, my brain is not working tonight.
The first order.
First Order.
With, with Captain Phasma.
We didn't get that. Darth Maul was way up high, right? We didn't get the whole like saber. That was so cool, right? On the stage.
Right, it's right in your face, and you can get up close. And
they had what, R2D2, BB-8, and
R5.
R5. So they were on the stage, and even that line was, it wasn't walk through. People actually got to take pictures, so it was taking a really long time. So I didn't wait because I'm like, well, this is going to take me 20 minutes to get up there, and it wasn't that exciting to me. It was just really odd. I didn't understand it. And then we had our DJ, right? The DJ that's right in the middle, that for us streamers, we're just like, oh, great, copyright.
But he's not even playing Star Wars music.
And it was like the same songs as last year.
It's all the same songs from last year. He didn't change his playlist at all. It was the exact same list from start to close. I'm like, seriously? Well, that's lazy DJing.
But I don't think it's the DJ's fault. I think it's Disney saying, these are your songs, go.
Yeah.
No, the DJs usually get to pick the songs, from what I understand, when Disney hires them. But they have to have it, by such and such time. But what got me was, I get that he was the DJ last year, but it makes me wonder. It's like, wait, it's the same exact playlist. So did you just record it and you acted like you were DJing, but you weren't really doing it? It's like, and the thing is, I don't want to hear any of that music. I don't want to hear Pitbull, playing at the end of the night. And if it's not Star Wars related, I don't want to hear it. I realize that we're going to get a lot of copyrights from the music, from the DJ, as well as from the Star Wars music, but I don't need to hear non-Star Wars music on a Star Wars night. Yeah. It makes no sense to me. You want to have a dance party? Have it somewhere else. Don't have it in front of the castle. Don't have it where the main hub is, where you're playing Star Wars music next to Main Street.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
My
projections were better.
Yes, projections were way better this year.
Yeah, those were way better. They weren't as good as the year before, but they were better than last year.
Right. So one of the things I was disappointed in is there was no C-3PO this year walking around Galaxy's Edge like last year. This year, I decided to hit the store early, and I'm glad I did because they sold out of the Star Wars pin for that night. Within a half hour after me leaving that store, it was gone. I will say, because I went there early, there was sizes of all the different shirts and everything and whatnot. But they didn't have a really good selection of things to get. And it's really disappointing that you can only buy one of the, pins for the event. They should allow at least two per person. And they never seem to have enough because they run out so quickly and so easily, which amazed me. And then the other thing that got me was that I got on Hyperspace Mountain right away. But then I thought, you know what? I want to go see Darth Vader and I want to see Han and Leia because they were over there. And so you get in this long line. They're like, okay, you need to choose. Do you want to see Darth Vader or do you want to see Han and Leia? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I'm in this long line. I have to choose which one I want. Yeah. And the cast member clarified and said, well, you choose which one you want to go see. And if you want to see the other one, you have to get back in line, but not this big long line. You just get back in line in the line that they have inside. Because there's basically one big line outside, and then there's two lines inside, one for Darth Vader, one for Han and Leia. So we decided to do that. It took an hour and 45 minutes to see Darth Vader and Han and Leia. It's a 4-hour event. I just
Yeah.
wasted
That's
almost
ridiculous.
2 hours
Yeah.
seeing 3 characters. Seriously? That's ridiculous, you know? And then, the droids, with Darth Maul being up on the stage, or I mean, around the terrace, it was cool, but it wasn't great. You had the droids on the stage, which is great, but I'd rather have the Stormtroopers, Darth Vader, and Maul on there. BB-8 didn't even roll around. He was stationary. You had R5 and R2, which is kind of cool. Jabba the Hutt did not have a very long line, which was nice because you got through it real quick, but it was in a really weird place over by the train station, like you said. And then I went to go see the projections. I had to sit or stand way in the front. It was not the best place to ever watch the projections. And then I didn't even get to see Rey come out. Supposedly she was coming out to do her thing. And we got there shortly around that time. It was supposed to be happening, but she never came out. Never got a chance. Let's see. What else did we do? I don't think we got to do Rise Resistance. But and then certain rides were shut down. When the Pooh was shut down, I think Tiana's was shut down. There were some things that I was like, what? The Cavalcade, I didn't even try to go to because I heard how bad it was. I was like, well, why even go? It's not worth it. But then, all the things that we had last year that we didn't have this year was just a disappointment. And it's like, you gave us less last year. You're giving us even less this year. You really kind of screw things up the way you move things around. It just was really disappointing. The only thing I can say is that Disney is really losing it when it comes to these After Dark events. They used to be really, really good, and they keep getting worse. And so, Cordy and I were talking about this with Danny. It doesn't seem like it's worth it to do these anymore. I mean, certain ones, maybe Oogie Boogie. But all these other ones, it's like I so far this year, I had a really bad experience with Sweethearts Night. I had I had some bad moments, but it was a better experience going to 90s Night, but still was not perfect at all. And now I have Star Wars Night, and it's been disappointing. So I'm like, why? Why go anymore?
And it's so expensive.
Yes, right? Exactly. I'm going to start acting like casual. I ain't paying
but when it's worth it, right? Like it has been worth it, where you're like, okay, I had an absolutely great time, right? Like I'm smiling and running around the whole time. Then you're like, okay, right? Take my money, I'll come back. But this I'm like, it's sad. It's sad.
It is.
Yeah, and so especially when Universal is starting their own After Dark, their after hours thing with FanFest. That one, it's going to be interesting because we know that Universal does not have a perfect track record either with their HHN. At times, there's been issues with craziness and just massive amounts of people and not being able to get through everything that you want to see and just making it difficult for the guests. But if they pull this off to where people are not, quickly bashing it the way they did Star Wars Night this year, it's gonna spell doom for Disney's After Dark events.
Yeah, and it's half the price for at Universal. It's what, $79 if you want to go one. A pass I got it for what, $250 or something. I can go.
Yeah, so it's really it's got to come down to whether they pull it off well or not, because I'm not gonna sit there and look at it and go, oh well, no, they need to do good. It needs to be done well. Otherwise, it's just another event that they're charging money for and not giving the fans what they really want and what they deserve. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. So I'm hoping that Universal does well, but I'm also kind of hoping that they don't, just so that these parks will stop with these after hours extra ticket events, or at least drop the price some, because they're just not worth it. And I get tired of, having to sit there and think, there's stuff I'd like to see, but I'm not paying that kind of money for it.
No.
Yeah, Noah, we don't get a discount. We do get, we can go and get into the queue to purchase the After Dark tickets a little bit earlier. before they go on sale to the public. But yeah, no discounts for us, the pass holders or residents.
And one quick note about Star Wars Night. Before it's very late, so we're going to be hopefully wrapping it up here soon. But the Star Wars Night thing, I don't understand, because when they used to do the Star Wars days in Florida, those things were a gigantic draw. Those things were massively popular. People would book their vacations around those days, and the Star Wars nights just don't seem to have that same magic, that same oomph that, pulls the fans in, gets them all excited, has everybody talking about it. Even when, the last couple of years with Star Wars nights, there were people that enjoyed them, but it wasn't the same thing like you saw for Star Wars days. And I don't understand what's changed, what's different.
There's just less of everything. Well, even Season of the Force, like I remember going even during the day, and there'd be, stormtroopers and walking around Tomorrowland. It felt more festive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not feeling that this year in the parks.
No,
it's just very strange.
I think this kind of lends to what everyone's been talking about when it comes to Universal too, and that's the fact that Universal is putting out the stops for everything. I know for Epic Universe, but even besides that, like even their Fan Fest event, they're trying for that. They're trying to do things different. Obviously, there's some things I know behind the scenes I can't talk about at the moment regarding the Universal thing. We'll talk offline, and I will share with you guys when I can about what's happening with Fan Fest. And why they're doing some of the things they're doing, but at least they're trying. And I feel like they're trying, and Disney's going, oh, well, people just pay. They love coming to these events. We don't have to keep doing this and this. Even last year they gave the patches. This year there's these buttons that I think the buttons look terrible. They're not that great. And I just feel like how much are you going to keep this up where you're going to offer less and make people pay more for these things when it's just not worth it? And I'll be honest with you, I kind of feel like Cordy. I almost feel like, why do it? We can just watch, some other streamers go, and we can talk about it and see what's going on. We don't have to worry about wasting our money. We'll go to something that's worth our money, like Oogie Boogie or something. I just can't see doing this. If they're going to keep doing what they're doing, and they've been doing it for the last 2 years now, or a few years, what's the point of doing it or going?
Yeah. I think they're starting to realize it though, when you see that the nights are not selling out. So
I hope they see that too, because they're going to see it obviously, but that's what's crazy. Last year, almost every single night was selling out, and now it's like, nope, every night's available. Yeah. I think so many people are disappointed with how these events are going. They're just like, nope, not doing it.
And perhaps that's the smart thing to do, is instead of 8 or 12 nights or whatever they do it 4 nights, and then charge people the same prices, but make it a quality experience, because you only have to do it 4 times. Then longer. It's like, well, then you can have fireworks because you only have to pay for 4 fireworks shows instead of 12. You know what I mean? So maybe that's where, they need to find that sweet spot of, okay, this is the number of events, and this is, what we can spend on it, and, make it balance out so that, they're making money, but still giving the guests a quality experience.
But couldn't they get that sponsored, the fireworks? Because like World of Color, it's, I believe, sponsored by Pandora, because they always say their name, right? Like brought to you by Pandora. Like, I don't know.
You would think that they could figure something out. Like, I mean, that's a perfect idea. Why isn't there somebody that would want to put their name on the Star Wars fireworks?
Yeah, the Christy Jewel.
So Christy says, Oogie Boogie's worth your money. I disagree. Very boring with the exception of Villains Grove. So I think it's one of those things where when you go and you experience it, it's a lot different than just watching it. Because I will say that I enjoy going to the trick-or-treat lines and seeing the characters. And especially, you get some of them that are just on a roll, like Ernesto de la Cruz. I mean, he is just so much fun to watch and listen to. And then you get to go to some of the events, like the parade and stuff. I enjoy it. The Villains Grove is definitely worth, going. They actually put in a survey last year. Do you guys want mazes? So that might be something they decide to try to do. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if they did. But that's about the only one I think is worth the money. If you've been able to go and experience it, I think it's cool. Hey, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I really enjoy it. So I know we need to wrap this up because you got to get going. But do you guys have any final words and before we head off to questions?
No, just bravo.
No, sir, I ain't going next year.
For our Tiki Room marathon, because that's isn't it down now for refurbishment?
If it's not down now, it's like by the end of this week. I think it's under refurbishment. So
So
we
got our fill.
Someone did 16 hours of that attraction.
But I can still go back and break my own record. So that's still
the two shows that were
two shows. Dang it!
Oh, it's 2 shows. Well, are the songs still in your head?
The songs are always in my head. I could start belting out Tiki Room at the drop of a hat, needing no prompting and no marathon. So
I just have one question. Do you wake up in the morning and go, "Wake up, Jose"?
No, I think one of the funnest parts though was I think it was just the second show of the day. The first 3 shows were private shows for just me and my chat. So the second time, cool. The cast member, saw that it was just me again, and she says, "Welcome back to the Tiki Room." So I thought that was fun. But we got a super chat from Brian Sevilla, and he says, "I noticed that July 17th reservations have already been taken for Disneyland's birthday. There's a couple new things on that day." For now, yes, there's the Walt Disney animatronic is scheduled to be premiering that day. Hopefully everything goes well because it was supposed to be on the 16th and they had to push it. I don't know if that was because of technical difficulties or they decided, you know what, let's give something for people to come back. Could be just a marketing tactic.
My source is telling me that they're still having problems. They're working on it as hard as they can, but they may be pushing it back after July 17th because they're not quite ready. So let's cross our fingers they're able to get it ready for it. But I want them to do it right. I don't want them to rush it. I want them to do it right. Because if they don't do it right, it's going to be a disaster for Disney.
Yes, big disaster if they don't do it right.
And while we were talking to Phineas, we did get Slim Devin has a member for 1 month anniversary. He said, "Have a good time tonight." Mattercam Matt, member for 1 month. Yeehaw! Adventures with Roto Commish is a new member. Thank you so much. Weird Old Man, member for 1 month. Easy for you to say. Out of context, so I don't know now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there was something there, but
exactly. And Mike also joined, a new member for the channel. And
yes, thank you so much, everyone.
You also very much.
Yep. And Brian, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Let's see. What else was going on? I know Judd asked if parking comes with our After Dark event ticket. That is negative.
But if you do have an annual pass, then or Magic Key, then you can get in for parking if you have it. They don't charge you for it. But if you don't and you go paying for the event, now you're paying $35 for parking on top of the ticket.
Your Magic Key is the same as your normal. So if you have the Believe Key, it'll be the 50% off, or Enchant Key is the 25% off.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Oh, Phineas Huckleberry was in here. OMG, I forgot to show everyone my collection of Tiki Room stuff.
Next time,
Send me the pictures, and or next time you're on, yeah, we can have you show that. That'd be awesome. Yeah, and thank you so much again for coming onto the show. It's a pleasure having you today.
Yes.
Carol G, if you are not on a desktop computer or laptop, it will not have the join button. So, or at least,
it will
least
for
on
Android.
iPhones.
For iPhone, you have to go to the Google Chrome on your iPhone to do it, which is a pain. Oh, and Krista Joe, I think we're going to answer that real soon here when we all head back to the parks.
Great segue.
Yeah, I think it is. So, Casual, do your thing.
We will be back in the parks for a Park Streamers Hangout next Wednesday, not this coming Wednesday, the following, for April 30th. We'll be hanging out, hopefully a little bit before, but we will be hanging out at the Anaheim Hotel for the Chalk Walk kickoff event, and we will be live streaming it on the Park Streamers Hangout channel. We're going to get to find out, we're going to get to meet this year's ambassador and hear her story. We're going to get to see the brand new merch that they've got designed for the walk, and we'll be hearing about any other special activities they have planned for the day. Other than that, I'm not sure what else they're going to be doing there. I know that that it's a invitation only type of event, so it's pretty cool that we've been invited. It's going to be me, Bob, Cordy, and Mrs. Casual. Actually, she's going to be joining us for that. So next Wednesday, we'll probably be starting hopefully around 5 o'clock. Possibly on our individual channels leading up to it. And then at 6 o'clock, we'll be at the hotel and streaming from the Park Streamers channel.
Mm-hmm. That's for the Park Streamers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool.
So any other questions? Brian Sevilla says, Theme Park Casual, what is your next all-day ride / attraction day? I know what we're planning to marathon. I don't know when we'll do it though. I was planning to save it for a 10,000 subscriber, but that is probably a couple years away still. So we'll probably find a Saturday in the next few months and we'll stream a marathon. Any guesses?
No. No.
Okay, so Zomembes has a question. Is it true that if you are a Magic Key member that you can get reservations for Club 33? Have not heard that.
That's a negative, Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that's probably a no, most likely.
Yeah. Jed, I have no idea. I need to count them. A lot.
I think we had one other question from.
You know what you should do? You should put them all in a big pile and then do like the guess the jelly beans kind of thing. Is that, how many ears do you think are
that's
here?
a good idea. That is a good idea.
What is the favorite streamer's favorite Disney toys from the parks? It's probably popcorn buckets and.
Well, I was going to say, is it a toy or just our favorite souvenir kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't. You know what? Boy, toy. You know, if it was back when Galaxy's Edge opened, I would have said, "Hey, the droids are really cool," but they've kind of lost their thing. Same with the lightsabers. It just spent a lot of money for a lightsaber that doesn't do much and sits around most of the time unless you take it to the park. So, you know what? I don't know that I have a favorite toy from the parks. I think the last favorite thing that I thought was kind of cool was the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway remote control train. That was kind of cool, but I can't really think of anything else at the moment. That
I don't know if I always liked and I never even I never had a desire to really get them, but I loved them. Were the small attractions that you could get that they had from DCA and like the monorail that you can get. I love those kind of things. But I don't have anywhere to put them, so it's like I'm not gonna bother.
Cordy likes her Tauntaun bucket, or I
Here's
should say all of her popcorn
here's
buckets.
the latest.
I will say the coolest thing I bought recently was
Oh,
probably
he's got your smile.
I know.
that or wow. Amazing. Sounds just like Cordy. Oh, I mean,
It does. That's how you hear me all night. He's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, other than that, my favorite thing to collect is probably the pins, which they're celebrating their 25th anniversary right now. The pins.
I'm waiting for Bob to get into those the blind boxes.
Oh boy.
The what?
The blind box.
The blind box where you just like have to collect
I can't
$500 worth of.
To just keep buying and buying and buying.
I will say my last experience with the blind boxes was not so bad because I got 6 out of the 8 items all after buying just 8 of the boxes. But seriously, to me, it's almost not worth it. To me, it's not a lot of fun. I'd rather just know, hey, these are the ones I'm buying and I got them all.
Yep.
So I don't like the blind ones. It's just a money grab for the parks.
Yep. I do not buy into those at all, no matter what it is. I hate stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why even with the Lego minifigures.
Oh yeah.
This was us buying the Lego minifigures.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a pirate hat. That's a pirate hat. You feel it. That's a pirate hat, right?
Are you kidding me?
Spending half an hour just sitting there trying to going through like.
I know. It's.
Well, I don't know if you guys
50
remember
of those
the
little
kyber
bags.
crystals. You get the kyber crystals for the lightsaber, and you'd be like, "Okay, I thought looks like it might be a black one in there. Okay, that's a limited edition one. The black ones. No, it's not. It's a red one. Darn it. Okay, And then they started putting them in bags, so you couldn't even see what you were getting. So
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, kids. I think we're going to call it. It is 10:30, and I got to get to bed. So, thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Before we leave you, we will definitely go around the horn here and let you guys know when we will be in the parks and where you can find us. Cordy, would you go and let everybody know where you're going to be streaming next?
Possibly. Well, actually, tomorrow I was going to do a stream from here, HQ, on FanFest because I'll be going to opening night Friday. So for sure I'll be at Universal on Friday, but do that tomorrow night. Possibly Thursday at DCA since this is Star Wars night. We'll see how that goes. And then Sunday.
All righty. And Barry Place 28, where can everybody find you next, Bob?
Well, I plan on doing a live stream Wednesday morning, but I'm actually picking up Adam and Frida from Tokyo at LAX on Wednesday morning. So I will be there probably for the last 4 hours on Wednesday night. As soon as I can take my daughter to ice skating. And then I'll be definitely back for Sunday. By the way, Sunday is going to be Tiki Land Day and it's Bats Day in the park, in the fun park. So it's going to be interesting seeing all the Adventureland people and goth people in the park on Sunday. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be crazy. So definitely come check out our streams from me and Cordy. And then I wanted to tell you guys, and we didn't have time to talk about tonight, but I just booked a trip to Universal Studios Florida. I'm going to Epic Universe, and I can't wait to tell you guys more about it. So maybe in the next Park Streamers Hangout, we can actually, I think the May 5th, maybe we'll talk about on that show if we have some time.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Wonderful.
Yes, very cool.
All right. And then I will be in the parks scheduled for Wednesday evening, hopefully starting at the usual 5:30ish. And then this weekend, I will be at Disneyland on Saturday morning, hopefully for rope drop. And then Sunday, I will be there in the afternoon all the way to closing. So going to be a busy weekend for me.
Wow. We're all going to be there on Sunday. Whoa.
Oh.
Sunday.
Okay, across the streams, okay? Stream party.
Yeah. All righty, kids. Again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to hit that like button on your way out if you haven't already hit it. Make sure you're subscribed. And we will see you guys next time on the Park Streamers Hangout. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Sweet dreams.